The checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
Since we are talking about the reforms, let us talk about the electricity sector as well before we turn to one more interesting point from Sebastian Molyneux.
Fully agree, David. The business sector in Georgia is thought to benefit from variable prices on electricity starting from January the 1st, 2022. One reason for that is the launch of the Georgian energy stock market. However, this is not the only reason to dig deeper why this new platform is important for the energy field of our country.
There is a list of power plants which are expected to sell electricity on the open market within the framework of energy sector. For full operation of the energy exchange was planned for July 1st of this year, but delayed until January 2022. Full market liberalization is expected in the next 5 years. All these perspectives we have already discussed with the chief of the Georgian energy exchange, Irina Milorava. Take a look.
Thank you for your time. It should be noted that there is a huge interest towards the Georgian energy exchange system. What can we say today whether electricity will be traded on energy exchange from January 1st or not?
We started the testing process in April and we have been doing one trading session every month. Of course, there were difficulties in the beginning, including technical ones. The main challenge of this model is the hourly trade system in electricity. We used to do it every month before, but now it all comes a very dynamic process, and already from October we have started testing hourly trading on a daily basis. For example, today the trade was on, the auction was closed, the price was set, and practically the whole process has already been tested. So I can confidently say that we are ready for the 1st of January to launch our exchange system, but we will use the remaining time to communicate with market participants.
Do you have final confirmation from all participants of the trading systems that they are ready as well?
Of course, we cannot get such kind of confirmation. We have to evaluate it by ourselves. We already had a presentation with the balancing market operator and we summarized the results of the 3 weeks trade process, noting what type of errors were figured out and what still needs to be corrected, and so on. Such analytical meetings are held from time to time. A large portion of the participants are already involved in the stock market. There are two types of participants: one who are obliged by the concept of a government-approved model to trade on the stock exchange, and those who have to decide for themselves whether to trade on the stock exchange or not. We have about 70 registered participants and 50 of them are stably traded on the market.
To summarize, which power plants will sell electricity in the open market?
There are state-owned power plants, including the Enguri, Vardnili and thermal power plants. The second group is the private power plants, which are guaranteed by the purchase agreements, and the electricity market operator represents their electricity on the exchange. Besides, there are also so-called power plants with tariffs.
Will imported electricity be sold on this exchange?
According to the regulation, they can trade on the stock exchange and also they can sell electricity under agreements. So it is up to them. However, if any kind of restrictions are imposed, it should be reflected on both the stock exchange and the balancing market operator.
When it comes to pricing, I have a question. What did the test trading show? For example, how much does the electricity cost for Georgian railway or the Rustavi metallurgical plant in the exchange system?
Everyone has this question. Investors often ask if we can share test trading prices, but all of our consultants tell us not to share it under any circumstances, because this is a test trade where market participants do not fully disclose their trading strategies. If we look at the prices of the last week, they are radically different every day.
What do you think? Does the Georgian energy exchange system apply to the investors' appetite? Maybe that's not the right word, but it might show all the vision and requirements coming from the investors before they decide whether to go into the country or not.
We have a lot of meetings, and one of the most exciting is meeting with new investors. They have some fears about this market, which is absolutely natural and understandable. For example, the fact that the price that will be formed in the market may not be sufficient to repay their investment. This applies to those who do not have a guaranteed purchase agreement and also to the new investors. We try to explain to them that one is the market price and the other is the price support mechanism. It is the experience of all European developed markets that only the market, especially when we are talking about a young market, cannot bring investors to the country, because at least for some time they will observe how liquid the market is, how well it works, whether prices are formed correctly or not. In order to attract an investor, we should not try to artificially raise the market price. We should offer them the price support mechanisms. Therefore, we already have rules on how to encourage renewable energy sources. This is a price premium mechanism. I have often heard that this price premium, which is set at 1.5 cents and the upper limit is 5.5 cents, is not enough. In fact, this will appear after the market prices are formed, and I do not rule out changing these limits to give them more support mechanisms.
I should also ask about the importance of building power plants in Georgia, and in this regard we should mention all the difficulties around Namakvani power plant. What do you think? Why did the process come to the point that the investor made an announcement about terminating the contract with the Georgian government?
I do not know these processes in detail, but the fact that the investor is leaving the country is a simple answer to the question for me. We have not done everything to solve the problems connected with this project. When I was asked what we should do, my opinion was that it was necessary to talk more and more about the importance of generation facilities for this country. Namakhvani is not just a commercial project. This is a step towards the energy independence of this country.
Good luck, thanks for the interview, and at the end of the year we will probably have a meeting again when we summarize the working process before the Georgian energy exchange starts functioning.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.